Let me just say, my expectations for this movie were rock bottom. I was just gonna watch it for Sydney Sweeney, a fully grown adult, by the way, in a skin-tight catsuit, just as Dakota Johnson said. Roll the clip.
It is in the Marvel Universe, and it also stars Sydney Sweeney. So it's kind of like if AI generated your boyfriend's perfect movie.
I only watched The Flash for 30 seconds of CGI Nick Cage, so the fact that I actually liked the movie was a bonus. Let me just say, everything you've heard about this movie is true. All the plot holes, all the product placement, the talk about avoiding mentions of Spider-Man or Peter Parker, the bad dialogue, bad acting, shitty ADR, you know. Sometimes the voices wouldn't match the mouth movements, so it just looks like an anime. Shallow character motivations. Everything bad you heard about it is true. So I'm going to talk about the good stuff. This movie is not a superhero movie, and I think that's actually a good thing because I'm kind of sick of those. They've been ruining them. They've been kind of boring lately. This was more of a side story kind of thing with the side characters you see in the world of superheroes, but what would life be like if they existed and you were just a guy? The Boys kind of did this, right? But then everybody got superpowers by season 4, so fuck it. This movie also poses another interesting question. What if Spider-Man was evil, right? You always see this guy crawling on walls. You think, oh, it's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Nope, not this time. So I thought that was a cool take. So there was one plot point a lot of people laughed about, but I didn't even think it was that funny or crazy because it's becoming a reality.
The scale of the NSA surveillance is unprecedented. They can access everything. There's nowhere to hide. People can be tracked wherever they go. It's gonna change everything.
I know the movie's set in 2003, but hey, just because it's early doesn't mean it wasn't possible back then. You know, it's just maybe it wasn't ready for the public to know about. Maybe we would have lost our minds if we knew how possible things would be. First time I saw AI presidents, my mind was blown. Now it's just like a normal thing.
Joe, don't go anywhere. It could be a trap.
Whoa, I like this room.
God damn it, Joe.
You really do not listen, do you? Can you?
What is it? Where are you, Joe?
Oh, I don't know. I've reached a distant place.
In fact, it's even more plausible to have it set in 2003, because at least then they could still travel under the radar. If they do it today, it'd be damn near impossible. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got a Google. Hey, Google. Okay, now it doesn't work. It always doesn't work when I ask it to. But, you know, this movie's got heart, surprisingly. I wouldn't recommend watching it if you've got mommy issues.
She really is trying her best to keep me from working. Not when I'm this close, but I'm not gonna let her do that.
Why did you hate me so much?
You know, main character has some mommy abandonment issues. She ends up adopting 3 kids, sorta.
Are you all immediate family?
Yes. They're all mine.
And it's kind of a sweet moment, I guess. If you're a lady and you're trying to conceive and you're not having the best of luck, you probably shouldn't watch this. It's probably going to make you cry. Anyway, they solve it, and main character and her mom kind of have a sweet moment, akin to Zeke and Grisha from Attack on Titan. And that whole part was what made me go from curious about the movie to actually liking it. Oh, and you know what else I liked about this movie? It didn't shit on men. Surprise, surprise. Not every man in this movie is either an asshole or a pussy, like some other movies, right? There's only one guy who's an asshole, and he's the villain, so naturally, he'd have to play the bad guy, right? You know, there were 2 main guy characters, Uncle Ben and the guy who looks like Nigel Thornberry. They're really cool and helpful. And the Nigel Thornberry guy, he's Peruvian, and he's got Spider-Man powers, so I'm just gonna call him Peruvian Spiderman. The first time we see him, he's in like this body paint, and he's got all these tribal garments that look like Spider-Man. You know, he looks like he's straight out of the forest. And the next time you see him, he's just wearing a plaid shirt. So he's probably just a regular dude in Peru. He just does the tribal shit on the weekends, and he goes back to living a boring life as an accountant or something. So it kind of makes sense as to how baby Dakota Johnson got back from Peru to the U.S. It makes sense. It's kind of funny that he's just a normal guy. But hey, you know what? Peter Parker's a normal guy. Spider-Man's fucking red and blue spandex wearing Yahoo. So hey, maybe they just do that too. Hey, you know what? A lot of people are saying this movie is like all girl power, and nah, it's really not woke at all. The most woke thing about it is that the Latina Spider-Woman's dad got deported, and the movie just pretty much blames him for not having his papers, so that's the worst you went. Plus, this movie's set in 2003, so this is way before Orange Man. It's way before Sleepy Man. It's way before all these guys. And you know what? Just because this is a female-led, quote-unquote, superhero movie, it doesn't mean the characters are Mary Sue's. No. The main character is definitely not, because she sucks at the start. Even at the end of the movie, she can't fully control her powers, because if she did, she wouldn't have gotten blinded by a piece of debris. It just smacks her right in the face. I was like, ooh, that shit looked like it hurt. Damn. And she gets double crippled at the end. Right, she can't walk and she can't see. That fucking sucks. But that's a good thing I like about some superhero stories, is the fact that they have this shitty circumstance, but they make the best of it, and they help people. I don't want to be them, but I can admire them. I don't want to be Iron Man because I don't want to have a pacemaker. I don't want to be Daredevil because I like being able to see. Hell, I don't even want to be Spider-Man because the guy can't catch a break. He's always running into bad luck, right? Gets cucked by his... he gets cucked by his villain. He gets the girl of his dreams and he gives her cancer with the sperm. It sucks being Spider-Man, dude. Anyway, there's a lot of more interesting characters or stories in this universe besides Madam Web. The Spider-Woman, for example. Their origin stories might have been more interesting. And of course you got Peter Parker, but like I said, this was a side story and that's what I like about it. I thought of this more like a artsy indie film rather than a big Hollywood thing. It's like those little world-building shorts that Marvel used to do. Plan 13 or something, about the robbers who got a hold of the gun at the site of the Battle of New York in Avengers 1. Yeah, I like that the filmmakers didn't lose focus on what the movie was about. It was called Madam Web, not the Three Spider Sisters. So it's like, it stayed on track. It focused on Madame Web, which is the title character. Can you imagine if they made a movie called Spider-Man, but instead they focused on Spider-Woman instead? Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, whatever you want to call her. They didn't focus on Spider-Man. Unless she really is a Spider-Man. Anyway, movie's not doing so well. It's not the best movie. I give you that. It's not the greatest. But I think you should watch it. Why? Because it's sending a message. And the message is just put hot chicks in your movie. It doesn't have to be the fucking Citizen Kane. Alright? Just throw some hot chicks in it. I'll watch. You throw in a semi-decent story, hell, I'll even recommend it. Don't shit on your audience. Don't shit on exclusively one gender in the movie. Just give people a good time. It's really not that hard. Going to the movies is about escapism. And you know what? For a while I had a really nice time not thinking about real life. So I hope you guys can have a little bit of joy I had while watching this movie. Enjoy. Alright, so the only thing I really didn't like about this movie was that she actually split herself into three, and she was able to be at more than one place at one time. I know they telegraphed it when the Peruvian Spiderman said it, but I thought that was going to be a metaphor. I didn't think she was actually going to do it. Like, I thought her powers were just mentally based. But this was like, how is she able to be at three places at once? And she didn't even use time travel for that, or maybe she did, I don't know. It's just weird, man. I don't know. Did the movie say her powers were time travel based? If they were, then I guess that would make sense, but the movie made a point to say her powers were her mind.
Your mind has infinite potential. If you master your power, you can use the web to be in more than one place at the same time.
Huh?
You are the only one who can change the future.
So that was just weird, man. I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking weird. Yeah, that's my biggest complaint about the movie. I knew Sydney was only gonna be in the suit for like 30 seconds. I knew that going in, so I'm not complaining there.